Good morning everybody, it's Marianne here. Okay, this morning I thought I would get up nice and early and introduce you to my financial spreadsheets that I am going to be using for this year. This is my desktop. If we have a look over here, this is my money trees. So I've made these spreadsheets 3 times, one for me, one for my daughter and a spare. Alright, so let's click on my money tree. Okay, now that's opened, we go to Financial Tracker. Now the program I use is LibreOffice. It's pretty much identical to Windows, Microsoft Excel, and it's a free program, so check that out on the internet, LibreOffice Calc. Okay, now that's opened. So let me explain what it is that you're looking at. There's 3 tabs down below, or 3 pages. The first tab is called the Money Tracker, and that's the one that we're currently looking at. The next one is Payments Due Calendar, and we'll have a look at that soon. And Debt Details is the last tab. So let's have a quick look at Money Tracker. This section over here is all about my debts. This section here is all about my living expenses. And below that is my short-term savings funds. And then below the red line is 2 other categories. First one is my 3 months living expenses saved fund. So that's following the Dave Ramsey philosophy of being 3 months to 6 months ahead in your living expenses. And the last category is long-term saving fund. So this would be my ultimate goal. Let's scroll back up and I'll show you how I use this. So this is what I do. As soon as my payday comes, my pay is deposited into my bank account. I come straight here. We'll do an example right now. We'll do one for this week. So work, I got paid $1,200. eBay, I got paid $200, and YouTube was $100. So that brings me to a total sum of $1,500. So what I do now is I've got to spend that $1,500 and deposit that $1,500 into the next 3 categories. So the first category is debts, second category is living expenses, and the third category is short-term savings fund. So anything above the red line gets my whole pay packet. First debt is radio rentals, which I finished paying that, and now I snowball that amount. So the amount that's there, the minimum, is $20 weekly. That's what I was depositing into radio rentals. Well, I'm now going to be depositing my $20 weekly into my Energy Australia on top of its $20 deposit. So the amount that I'm putting in today is 20 plus 20 is $40. $20 from my snowball and $20 from its original weekly deposit. And that would be, in a month, that snowball from that one to go into here, 80 in a month, which is pretty cool. Okay, so my next one is state debt recovery. I got to deposit 20. Done that. Next one is Mr. Rental. I've got to put in a 10. Done that. Next one is Optus. I've got to deposit a 20. Done that. Next one is Jim. I've got to put in 50 to him. And the next one is Panthera. That's a 20. Next one, I got to actually put money in all of them this week. 20. Next one is the other Panthera Finance. Last one is my car, and I've got to do my car. So this one's a big one because I'm doing all of them this week. They all land on this week. If you have a look over here, some of it lands weekly, some of it's fortnightly, some of it's every month, and it just happens to be that they're landing on all of them come out this week. Now, on the weeks that not all of them are coming out, I tend to put extra. So over here is my minimum amount. Example, $20 on Energy Australia. On the weeks that I don't have to put in my car repayment, I'll end up chucking in like another 100 or something in there. Like this one will be paid off quite soon. That's what I end up usually doing. So I always look at the minimum, and sometimes I can put in extra. So for today, we're not doing extra in any of them because I've got a huge one coming out. My car repayment comes out. Well, they're all coming out this week. So I'll hold off on doing extra on some of the other bills. All right, let's scroll down. So we've knocked out my debts. Now we're going to go down to my living expenses. So rent is $350. Got to put that one in. Next one is groceries. I'll be doing $130 in groceries this week. Petrol is $40. Next one is mobile phone. I don't need mobile phone. I still got 2 weeks credit, so I don't need any credit. Internet landline, that's not due till 3 weeks from now, so I'm happy. I don't need that one. Fund money, I don't want any fund money. Gas and electricity, I put down 10 for that one. Done. Next one is clothes and shoes. I don't want clothes and shoes. Beauty, I don't want beauty. Okay, so basically this month I'm not spending on, I'm trying to keep January as spent free. I'm not spending anything on beauty, clothes, shoes, or fun. I am planning on really concentrating on getting out of debt. You'll see that these words other down here. Other comes in for random things that pop up that's not in my debts and it's not in my usual living expenses. If someone needs my financial help in something and it's a one-off, I always like to count where every dollar goes, so every dollar gets a category so that I can physically see where it went. My debts have been taken care of, my living expenses have been taken care of. Let's scroll down to this one here. So how much have I spent? $1,132. All right, I've got to spend $1,500. All right, so people's gifts, I've got 2 birthdays coming up, so $25 times 2 is $50. Put it in 50. Next one is car rego. Now that's coming around the corner, so maybe we should put 200 in there. That's coming up in the next couple of months, and that's an expensive. Christmas, I don't start my Christmas deposits until the first term is over. So we've just started the new year, so I won't be putting anything into the Christmas fund. My green slip, which is my car insurance, I need to put in another, let's say 100 in that one. That's for my car. So I'm going to deposit $17.18 into my emergency fund, the last of my money. That brings it up to $1,500. So I've officially spent my whole pay packet. I've deposited $350 into my short-term savings fund, things that are coming up this year. I've taken care of all of my living expenses that I need to take care of this week, and I've taken care of all my debts that I need to take care of this week. So that's my money spent. Most of these debt ones comes out of my bank account automatically. I think the only one I've got to physically go to my internet banking and do is my car repayment. And my living expenses is cash in my hand, so that'll go into my envelope system. I don't know if you saw my other YouTube, but I made a little a purse inserts, so my cash money will be going into those inserts in my purse. And I have an envelope system in my budget binder, which is in another YouTube. I'll put all this money into my budget binder. Let's have a look at this. So everything above the red line is my weekly debts, living expenses, and things that are just about to crop up. That's everything above the red line. So that's me taking care of my stuff weekly, because my pay's coming every week, so I do this every week. Everything below the red line is what takes place when I'm out of debt. So as soon as I've gotten rid of all my debts, that money that I would be putting in weekly, fortnightly, or monthly into my debts will be rolled into my 3 months living expenses saved fund. And if you have a look here, I just want to show you something. Hang on, so we've got to date it. Now we date it, which is, today's date is the 8th of the 1st, 2017. And I've left a section here called info. So you can write down little things, any information that you want to put in there, a reminder for something for next week. So I just want to show you, see this black line? Everything on that side of the black line stays there, and everything on this side of the black line moves. So I'm just going to show you an example what that means. So as we're going along the weeks, filling in data entry, it moves. And you always are looking at this side whenever it moves, and it goes on to the whole year. So I just thought I'd show you that. I thought that was cute. So that's the money tracker taken care of. That's my little creation. Let's move on to the next one, payments due calendar. Now it's very simple. This here is a month by month of the whole year. Here we are, we're in January, and it tells me what debts or bills are due. So example, on the 4th and the 5th, rent $350 and a birthday 25th, that's been paid, that's been covered for already. So my income's been paid today, and now what I do is I go over to my monthly payments due calendar and I mark off what I paid. So today I paid rent $350. So let's shade that in green. There we go. Next one was state debt recovery. I paid that off. Let's shade that one green. And my car repayment, I did that today. That was green. Those three there have been paid off, and they're the ones that's due. Now, I haven't finished filling this one out yet. I've still got to put in a whole bunch of other ones that I should be putting in that's due. So you get the gist of what I'm doing here. I mark off green, and if I haven't paid it, then it'll be coloured in red, and that'll never happen to me. Never. I won't let it. Also the stars. These little stars represent my pay packet. So each pay that comes in every week gets put there, and it shows me that that star resembles a bill that's just about to come. That's the last opportunity you've got to pay on that bill. And sometimes I like, with my pay, I like to pay ahead with some of my things, just so that I'm a couple of pays ahead with certain bills that I've got here. So let's scroll along to the end of the year just to show you what it looks like at a glance. So we'll scroll over to December. That's what it looks like. So you just put in things that are due. Yeah, see what's due in June. My car insurance is due in June. So I need to, well, how much is that? Car insurance is $850 and my car rego is $400. That's a lot of money I've got to put aside. So can you see why I need to start putting money into my savings for it? So let's move on to the next one. The next one is called debt details. So in my debt details, it's pretty self-explanatory. Anything to do with your debt information gets put on over here. So this is probably the first place you go to when you're starting managing your debts. This is what I did when I first started creating this. This was the first page I made. So the first page I made was information about my debts. So I made a column for company. I write down the company name, then I wrote down the contact numbers, and I wrote down my reference or account information. And then when you're on the phone chatting to them, talking to them, trying to come up with a payment plan, you have the right to ask them questions about your account, just to keep you ahead, keep you informed, and it's a professional way to behave. When you're handling your money, you should be professional about it. It just makes you feel more confident and you're less intimidated by the debt collector. So this is what I did to feel like I'm in more control over my finances. I ask them questions like, when I've set up a payment agreement, I write down my pay amount, my frequency, how often I do it, weekly, fortnightly or monthly. I type in my pay type. So is it going to be done through internet banking? Will it be direct debited? Will it be paid through the post office or cash in hand? Next one over here is my planned payments. I like to also write down the beginning, when it starts. So when you've made a payment plan, your first payment plan starts on that date, and then it finishes on the next date. And your installments. Some companies tell you how many installments it'll take before you're finished. Like this company here, State Debt Recovery, told me at $20 a fortnight, if I stick to that agreement, all I need to do is do that 44 times, which is kind of cool. I like seeing that because each week, each fortnight, I knock off a number, and it just keeps shrinking to me, and that's it's motivating for me. Now, some companies don't do that. I like to do that. So I just go and I calculate it myself for the companies that don't do it. You don't have to do that. It's just something I do to help motivate me to constantly stay ahead with my debt repayments. This section over here is my progress, which is another one that is inspires me. So on the left hand side, you've got your your debt starting amount, and on the right hand side is how much is outstanding today, how much you've got left to pay today. So doesn't this look good? This one here on Radio Rentals, it started out 1,200 and it's now 0. And you'll notice on all my other pages that the ones that are paid off are in green. They're highlighted green to tell me that I don't need to pay anything on that anymore. So the day that this whole page is, all this is green, is going to be a victory. I'll do a happy dance. Okay, so let's scroll along. There's only a little bit more over this side. This section here is my communication records, and every time I've had a phone conversation with a debt collector, I write down what come out of the conversation, and I always put down the date that I had my last communication with them. And I do this because in my future, when I next make a phone call with them to talk to them, I have the previous conversations in here to remind them of what was said and done, just in case there's any discrepancies about a conversation or an agreement. It's good to be ahead of the game or on the same page as them. So that's it for my debt details. That's my financial spreadsheet that I've created. These things I live off. So I spend a lot of time on here to see what comes up ahead, what's due, but I mostly live off this page. This page I go to sometimes every day. I might miss a couple of days, but this is something that I'm constantly looking at. I get really happy and excited when I see the numbers go down. Also, I forgot to add, once I've done all this and all this is paid, I then go over here. Example, see how I've put $40 in? I go over to here and I type in equals, and I put in over this side minus 40. Now watch this number here, see the 379.24, watch it change. Ready? It's changed. See how the number went down? Now this one, I'll do it on this side again. So I'll press equal. Now the amount I took out for this week was 20, so minus 20. Now watch the number go down, 772. Watch it. Look at that. I love watching my number go down. Do it again. Equals on that side, minus on this side, and press enter. Oh, sorry, minus how much? 10. There we go, minus 10. Enter. Isn't it beautiful? Look at that. So that's it for today. I'm going to finish that off right there, and I'm going to close out right now for you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope this has left a little bit of inspiration for you guys, and I will see you in another YouTube. Bye.